Welcome back. Slowly but surely, some fast food restaurants are adding healthier choices. And if you're selective about what you eat, you can still drive through without going overboard. Dietitian Tyler Setlock from Chaudere here in Helena joins us now with some food for thought when it comes to fast food menus. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you, glad to be here.
We talked first with Dr. Hecker a few minutes ago about all that was bad with fast foods. So I'm going to ask you, is there any good?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So a lot of fast food restaurants are trying to improve what they're offering.
Okay.
They're trying to offer healthier options. But largely, the goal of this talk we're going to have today is about educating yourself on what is and what isn't healthy.
Okay.
In effect, we're trying to encourage ourselves to be stewards of our health. We want to look out for what's right and maybe what's not so right.
Okay. So for those of us who try to maybe avoid going through the fast food line on a daily basis, but every now and then we get that craving and we go through the fast food drive-through, can you give us any tips for actually how we can make a healthier choice?
Yeah, so some are pretty obvious.
Okay.
The first and foremost, I'd say do your best to avoid the fried foods. Those are your
Okay.
foods that are very calorie dense.
Okay.
They have a lot of calories just by virtue of them being deep fried.
Okay.
Obviously, a good choice is to choose, as best you can, healthier restaurants.
Okay.
Ones that you recognize as offering healthier foods. As best you can, trying to include more fruits and vegetables. Oftentimes, your fast food restaurants are kind of devoid of these kind of nourishing, healthy foods, but as best you can, trying to get those in. And a very key tip is try to avoid supersizing as best you can.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, maybe we can go through some of the more popular items that we would find in most of our towns and our fast food restaurants. Starting off with McDonald's. They have the Big Mac. I'm seeing that the Big Mac has 950 milligrams of sodium, 46 grams of total carbs, and 28 grams of fat. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So what could we order instead of that Big Mac if we wanted to go to McDonald's?
Right, so what you note right away is the sodium. I believe you said 900.
Yep, 950 whopping milligrams.
So a lot of sodium in
Yeah.
those burgers. And just recognize that in fast food, sodium is a very, very common flavor enhancer. Mm-hmm. It makes food taste very good explicitly, and so it's not uncommon to see a lot of high sodium items on the menu, especially
Okay.
burgers.
Okay.
What you might try instead is something just kind of downsizing literally the burger size, maybe trying a McDouble, for example.
Oh, okay.
You're getting a little bit less. One thing I forgot to mention earlier was portion size.
Oh,
So
okay.
moderation in portion size. So oftentimes, the item you originally mentioned is oftentimes a bit more than we typically would need. So
Okay.
trying to downsize a little
Okay.
bit. What you might try alternatively altogether is try to focus on leaner, healthier meats. So a better choice might be an artisan grilled chicken sandwich or just something that has leaner meats altogether, any kind of chicken sandwich.
Okay.
If you want to be really good about it, you might try to aim for a salad,
Okay.
have some fruit sides, which they do offer as well.
Okay. Sticking with the hamburger side, if you were to go to Burger King, we know that their signature hamburger is the Whopper. And I'm looking 650 calories, 37 grams of fat, and 910, another big amount of sodium, and 50 grams of carbs. So should we be avoiding the Whopper?
In short, I might say yes.
Okay. So instead of the Whopper, what would you suggest there?
Well, so one thing about names like Whopper and
Yeah.
Baconator
Yeah.
and McDouble, for example, they all sort of are names that hint at the size. They sort of hint that bigger is better.
Okay.
And really, in this case, when we're talking about health, bigger isn't always better. So again, I would say trying to downsize a little bit,
Okay.
having just a regular burger, or again, choosing lean meats like a chicken sandwich or a salad. And if you get a salad, one thing to keep in mind is you want to be wary of how much topping you're adding on, how much salad dressing. You want to avoid drowning your salad in dressing.
Okay. All right, so I want to go to one of my favorites. At Wendy's, they offer a baked potato, and to me, that sounds like a good alternative. Is it really a good alternative to a hamburger, or is there something even better that I could choose there?
Well, compared to some things, it could be a good choice.
Okay.
But of course, it's hard for us just to have a baked potato alone. We want to add toppings on top.
Correct.
And so one thing to be wary of is how much you're adding. If you're adding lots of bacon and sour cream and cheese, quickly a potato might not be such a healthy choice.
Okay.
What I might recommend instead is have your baked potato, get some healthy toppings in moderation again. Maybe try to add on another healthy side, so maybe having a salad with some chicken for your main entree and having a potato on the side.
Okay, perfect.
And in doing so, we kind of build a healthier meal, a more balanced meal, and avoid making an unhealthy choice.
Okay. And one more. Say we want to take a run south of the border and go to Taco Bell for tacos. Can you tell us if tacos are a good choice or if there's something else that we could choose from that type of cuisine?
Yep. So in general, one thing I forgot to mention also was trying to keep it simple.
Okay.
That's a really key phrase you want to keep in your mind as you're going through these fast food restaurants, keeping it simple. So in this case, we're kind of focused on lean meats, so choosing a chicken taco as opposed to a beef taco would be a healthy choice, limiting excess toppings like cheese and sour cream, and just trying to keep your meal to an appropriate portion size.
Okay. And one more real quickly, I've only got about 30 seconds left. Can you tell us about pizza? That's everybody's all-time favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. So with pizza, one important thing to keep in mind is try to aim for a thin crust pizza.
Okay.
Recognizing we get a lot of carbs from the crust, we don't always need that. And frankly, a lot of times our thin crust is just as enjoyable as a thick crust.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for the great information. We need to take a break, but when we come back, what's the healthiest alternative to fast food? The grocery store? We have some simple meal planning tips that are quick and easy and less expensive than fast food. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more with Tyler.